There we go. Almost forgot to take care of that. I guess notifications are working. Yeah, I'm about to go back to playing WoW. I need to take a break and do things. I've been on most of the morning. Need to prepare dinner. Yes, Mrs. Drag will be the drag queen. Someone already beat you to that joke, but I'm sorry. I to tell you. Pretty good one when they first said it. So, what level? I'm 117 and a half. I've been enjoying the story, so I'm not max level yet. Someone hit max level. Well, some guy and his friends within the first day. So, literally, like the second day the patch came out, people were selling, fucking purples and shit. It's like, goddamn, y'all don't have a life. I know I'm out of school and I'm just, watching the house, watching the kid, but goddamn, did y'all sleep? Nope. So, I hear things. I hear lots of things. And I've not been watching YouTube. I've not been on G+. I've not been in the drag chat. I've not been any of that, actually. Not even been on Skype. Not any of that. Not any of that. Yes, we're waiting on some more folks. There's about 6 people now from the Great Debate gaming community that have joined us on WoW, and we're actually having a lot of fun, believe it or not. It's fun to talk to all the cool people and still have some of the same discussions, and not have like to deal with the bullshit. Because of course we make fun of the CCP, but it's not like the centerpiece of the conversation. It's kind of, hey, there was a conversation last night between a buddy of mine that I've known on Facebook for quite a number of years. All back when I was on Blog TV, I've known this guy. And he and Sock Account were talking about the similarities between their trades. And he's living up in Michigan, here in the U.S., and Sock Account's, of course, in Canada in the Navy. But their jobs kind of intertwine in a way. So that was a really interesting conversation that I somewhat took part of because my computer keeps freezing up. But, so, yes, and then Bohica Drop Short was also there, and his character's name is Gary Moore, which is hilarious. We do have a hunter in our guild, a goblin hunter about this tall named Gary Moore. So, why he would name a character that, I don't know. You'll have to ask Bohica. So, but like I said, I've been enjoying myself. But I've been hearing things. I've been seeing things every so often. Come across certain chat channels. And like I said, I've not really been on G+ like that, but I've heard things. What I thought I heard, that people are trying to communicate with G-Man's #1 bitch, true empiricism. That's what I heard. I'm not sure if that's actually true. But I heard. I didn't go investigate anything. I'm relying on word on the street. And why? Well, I don't know. I don't know. But I did catch, I caught wind of a few things that, you know, there's this idea out here that the retard from New Jersey should be absolved from the things that he does and says because he's just lashing out. Because he's responding to all of the vitriol that he gets from the atheists. Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting to me because I heard something that would kind of fall on those lines, you know, that he's being cyberbullied by yours truly, and how a grown man is cyberbullied by another grown man on the internet. Someone please explain that shit to me because I'm still trying to figure that one out. But alas, that's the word on the street. How you, a 40-year-old pathetic retarded ass person that pays to live in someone's attic, gets bullied on the internet, I will never know. But I'm not a pathetic person, so I'll probably never know. And how does he get some of the most inept and fucking just oh god, just calling these people retarded is an insult to people who are mentally handicapped, because at least they know their limitations. People who are mentally handicapped know their limitations, so it is an insult towards them. But some of these people don't, because to one of Captain Shorts-a-lot, one of his main defenders, the one that lives in the meth capital of the United States in Gary, Indiana, for whatever reason is now acting as the main antagonist. Now this is interesting because this is just me talking. I could have swore that this is the same guy who was decrying all of the drama that was going on back when the whole Jade thing was going on. It actually made a pretty decent video concerning salvation and homosexuality, attraction versus, you know, actually committing acts of homosexuality. Going in the right direction, but something changed. Because I actually did watch that video at the behest of a few people kind of putting a bug in my ear. I said, okay, let me check it out. And I even made reference to it in a follow-up video. I sure did. So, you have to ask yourself, so why now? Why now? Well, one thing, step into the limelight to do something normally doesn't do, and go on G+, respond to a tag, which again is something that he doesn't do, and purposely incriminate himself to say, well, I reported Redline's video, I'm not G-Man, you know, I'll do it again, just to see you guys QQ. And if you're not a big gamer, QQ is, if you put two capital Q's together, they look like crying eyes. Kind of, sort of, not really. But anyway, that's what QQ means. So, I find that interesting. Well, Drag, why do you find that interesting? Just like I said earlier, he was one of the ones decrying the drama. Why would he purposely stir the shit when he could be protected underneath the veil of ignorance, and none of us would have been none the wiser? None of us. There has to be a reason. So, the big question is, why? Why would he then go and interact with Redline? Go and, according to word on the street, is that he even went in a hangout with Redline. Now, I hadn't seen that in years. The last hangout I remember that he was in with Redline is when he was talking about abductive reasoning. This was some time ago, folks. Some time ago. Didn't even make it 10 minutes without cutting out. Which could arguably be referred to as him parroting a fucking jackass that doesn't know what he's talking about either. But that's neither here nor there. And before I forget, in that hangout, he was also supposed to, because I actually did something really interesting with a little inspiration from Dave S. This is around the same time that Dave S. made a video towards him, trying to help him make a better argument for ID. And the video explicitly said this is not about drama. This is about trying to understand True's argument. This Dave S was actually trying to help him. And prefaced the entire video with saying, this isn't about the drama. I'm not a part of that. I want to understand your argument. And Dave S laid out magnificently a few different ways that he could improve his own argument. And then laid out certain refutations to it to kind of give him an edge in putting this forth. Really, 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 really charitable of him. Really charitable. What did this guy do? Dave S is slandering me. He says that this is my argument. It's obviously not. He's just here for the drama, yada, yada. And it just excoriates Dave S. Now, Dave S, if you guys have not encountered him, very smart guy. You can think of him as Aussie Light, if that helps you. But very charitable guy. Explicitly said that, and he even put up graphics to show this is a syllogism of what I think that you're saying. Here's different variations. Which one would you like? Here are refutations to it. So, again, this is a guy who doesn't like drama. He hates drama. He hates getting into it. Most of his videos are bad Sam. I think I corrected you on ATP synthase, bag dragnot. I taught you, was it negligible senescence or whatever it is that he found in the iOS or IO9 article, whatever, right? Same guy. So you have to wonder, why now? Why now have his tactics changed? Well, I guess he forgets that people record his stuff. And he ends up, he's a lot like G-Man in a way. He reveals a bit too much in his own air of superiority, and that he forgets that if he's trying to play the long game, it's probably not best to tell people exactly what you're doing. Because mind you, I've already said, there's literally nothing this guy can do in his life that would impress me other than stop fucking his mom. I mean, move out of the fucking, meth capital United States. There's nothing. For some of you who've been treated to that link that I sent you, I am now representing 2 colleges, or a college and a university. And I'm on one of the pages being featured, me and my research. So I don't care what he's actually doing. But it would be impressive to see him actually be a decent person for once in his fucking life. But I'm not going to hold my breath for any length of time. And I commend those of you who still entertain the idea that he is worth talking to. But this is also one of the individual situations that stood by and acknowledged, oh, you know what G-Man did is probably not the best thing in the world, but for some strange reason absolves him from responsibility because, oh, the mean old atheists are attacking me. Well, I've been attacked right, left, and center by all of the CCP on a fairly regular basis, but I don't feel the need to do that because I get quite a bit of information, more information than I disclose. So, but I don't feel the need to intimidate people or try and intimidate people. Here's publicly available information. I'm going to let this publicly available information be known to the public. Yeah. So that serves no purpose to me. I guess because I've heard word that he's telling people that he has my address and that, well, if it doesn't take a genius to know where I live if I walk to school every other day and I stream it. But somebody told me that he had said that he had got my address when I did 23andMe. I don't know if that's true, but he's fucking retarded if he actually thinks that, because I didn't do 23andMe. I did Ancestry.com, and when I did Ancestry.com, I was living in Maryland. So, bravo. Anyway, let me get back on topic. I had to just talk about that because, again, I've been hearing a lot of stuff. So while I don't watch his videos, a lot of them are the same. Hearing him muffle underneath a fucking, I don't know whether he's talking through someone else's ass or what, but it is interesting to me that now he wants to get in the fray. After admiring his buddy, who is now, because remember, G-Man's supposed to be bold, and we're supposed to believe that he's bold, but he's crying about being bullied on the internet. I don't. Someone Someone help me understand that. I don't get that because I was told that. I was told that. I was told that the reason why certain CCP members admire him, and why I still don't get it. Why not pick somebody who's actually doing something with his life? That's me. You know what? Okay, well, you know what, Drag? Who do you admire? I admire Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's actually doing shit. I admire, you know what? I admire, you want to know something funny? One of my idols growing up as a young adolescent was Kyle Barker from Living Single. Now, if you've never seen Living Single, it's Friends for Black People. So, and funny. So it's that his the very distinguished, very eloquent, very educated, you know, black man who is also just he is the whole package, but his only real Achilles heel is his arrogance. And surprise, surprise, I turned out a lot like Kyle Barker. Huge surprise there. But I understood that his weakness were also his greatest strength because it allowed him the opportunity to reflect upon his actions and understand people a bit better, because his partner, his running buddy, Bow Wow, his dog, was a very simple guy, not that well educated, but fiercely loyal to the end, Mr. Overton. And so that dynamic I love. But getting back to real life. Now the issue I have with some of these folks is that they claim that they're following this idiot because he's supposed to be doing something for their religious beliefs. And I've addressed this before in other videos. What the fuck has he actually done other than we actually know of people who've turned away because of his actions. We actually know people, and he can deny it all day long. They can deny it all day long. But then I said, fine. You know what? Everybody lying. Everybody lying. Let's assume that. Let's assume that everyone's a fucking liar and that no one's ever turned away, but he's actually gotten people. For whatever reason, this inarticulate, uneducated fucktard from New Jersey who's living in someone else's fucking attic, who can't even afford fucking heat, who hasn't got his life together in any way, shape, or form, nor can even understand how maladjusted he is telling other people how to live their life. Somehow, that makes fucking sense. None of these fuckers have their life together, but that's fine. I can accept that. I can accept that. Well, Jerry, what do you mean getting your life together? I mean, actually, like, have something else to do other than this shit here. Like, I actually have something in life, like friends, like, you know, family, like being able to walk away and say, you know what, there's stuff out there. There's, you know, I may not have a career, but I'm doing something, damn it. I'm doing something. Just, you know, because some people don't have that option. Some people are disabled. There was a guy who would barely fucking able to walk. You bedridden most of the day, and so this was his only form of social activity, which is fine, but that's understandable. Not these guys. The only handicaps that they have are up here. Up here. I've noticed something though. I've noticed all CCP and CCP like members have something in common, and it's not religion. It's not religion. Because of course, fucking me, the self-proclaimed king of perception, notice things. Over time, say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm just reading too deep into things, but no. Onion. I'll give a nice big old kiss to Mrs. Dragon when she gets home. So, I noticed something. Even though I use the term maladjusted a lot, of course, as a pejorative, what does that actually mean? What does that mean? Oh, what does it mean to be adjusted? Well adjusted, that. Being able to engage and just rudimentary social interactions, understanding another person, to some level, to any level. Not necessarily being completely empathetic toward them, but to understand that in order to really have a comprehensive understanding of the world, if that's even possible. Understanding another person, stepping into their shoes is something that you would have to do. They're unable to do that. Once you really think about it. And I'm not saying, well, you know what, you're making this argument. Okay, I'll accept it just for arguendo and let me run with it. No. I don't expect anyone to step into try and be me. At any point in time, it's hard being me. But to actually step outside and say, you know what? I may have only had a limited experience in this world, and what I think I have as the truth may not be the actual case. Let me, instead of just saying I'm just going to take your assertion for arguendo and just kind of run with it just for this time period here, this piece of a conversation, truly step into someone else's mind. I can't imagine, and some of us have tried to imagine how it is to be a retard from New Jersey. Some of us have tried to like be a fucking goblin from Gary, Indiana. Some of us actually tried, and it's hard. It's really difficult. It is incredibly difficult for me to regress myself. It is incredibly difficult to regress because stepping into the mind of someone like that is a regression. It is. If I've had numerous experiences in the world, I've met people from all kind of different, countries, different languages, different cultures. It's hard for me to be this cloistered fucking neckbeard who sees the world through his fucking computer screen. It's hard for me to do that because I have actual real life experiences. And so conversely, it's hard for these guys to try and make up for that deficit that they have in this arena because, mind you, think about all the different varieties of people that we have here gathered. Just interacting with people alone outside of your door is a challenge enough for some people. Just that alone is a challenge. Getting to know your neighbor. My neighbors are Indian. I speak a little bit of Hindi, which they giggle because I'm probably mispronouncing shit. But it at least shows them that I'm making an attempt to try and really get at the core of their humanity, get at the core of what their culture is. It seems I've struck a nerve with someone in the chat. See, the one good thing about me dog whistling people is that it always works. Every single time. Every single time. So, what I've learned, and I'm pretty sure people wonder, Drag, how can you, Drag, people have said that you were exactly the same as you are online in real life. How do you get to the place that you are? How do you get, not just get stuff, but get to the place that you are in life by being who you are? I'll tell you. By being the exact opposite of these idiots. The exact opposite of these idiots. So if I'm going to juxtapose people, let me put myself front and center here for a second. I didn't get my face on a billboard because I can't interact with people. I didn't get put on a website and have an entire university bragging about what I'm going to be doing for them because I despise people who are different than me. I didn't get to the point that I can literally talk shit about someone on the internet and people pay me because I am inarticulate. I didn't get that way by not opening myself up to other people's ideas and truly trying to step into their life and stepping into their shoes, because it is a hard thing to do. I didn't get any of this by cloistering myself in. I got there by putting myself in precarious situations. I got there by striving to fix my own deficits. I got there by raising the bar for myself constantly. And so if my bravado upsets people, it's only because it hits on a nerve, a very, very specific nerve that I've honed over the years and years of me being a pariah, oddly enough, that I can elicit responses in people that I want by honing in on their weaknesses. You see how that works? I am that good. I am honestly that good that my perception works to find out my opponent's Achilles heel. Awesome, huh? I have screenshots of this. So, what's funny, getting this back on topic, is that I've always known that there resides a, I don't know what you want to call it, a residual fucking. All right, I should say it is the I need a fancy fucking name for this. I need an excellent name for this. It is the latent insecurity phenomenon on the internet. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. It is the latent insecurity that resides, because we all have insecurities to some degree. But most people aren't willing to challenge themselves to fix it. They aren't willing to actually strive to do things better for themselves and for those around them. And that upsets them, because people don't usually overtly say this. They don't overtly state what the insecurities of other people are or their deficits. They usually don't wear this sort of thing on their shoulders because of the responses that they fear getting from others. But if you are secure with yourself, you can openly talk about it quite easily. So, Drag, how does this relate to the CCP? All of them are sophists. Every last one of them. Every last one of them is a maladapted, maladjusted sophist who comes on the internet to try and accomplish what they can't accomplish in real life. Point blank, period. If you actually think about it, the things that they try to accomplish on the internet, I've actually accomplished in real life. Because a few of you have contacted me, quite a few actually, more than some of you actually know, and I downplay this a lot. But since I've triggered some, I'll talk about it more. Some of you have contacted me and asked me something. Something pretty funny. Drag, what is with these guys? Why do they target you? You know, you're not the most philosophically literate person. You know, you're not the go-to guy for science per se. So, but why do they target you, Drag? They seem to target you more than Scientist Sam, more than Ozzy, more than Dave S., more than Bert Poole, more than CRISPR, more than Rational Mind. You know, why do they target you? I'll tell you. Once I find a knife. Found a knife. Not the best knife. This knife is serrated. It's better for cutting flesh, but it'll have to work. So, I will tell you. Someone actually got it right. One of the individual situations who contacts me fairly often. I always enjoy conversations. He's in the chat right now, actually. He knows. He knows exactly what it is. I represent what they haven't accomplished in their life. I hone in on their insecurities. I hone in on the things that I've done, and I exploit their excuses because, well, let's give some good examples with our good friend Goblin King. So he likes to reference something, and I love this. It's always in reference to Sam being a rich white boy. That if you actually know Sam's history, that's not necessarily true, especially now. But he's a broke ass bitch. But it's interesting because Sure will play this game where he's a big baller with fucking 18 Bowflexes when I'm talking to him, but then I'm the beleaguered fucking victimized minority when he's talking to Sam. Don't know which one it is. It depends on who he's talking to. So what's funny is that I said that's not a fucking excuse. Hello, hi, had everything taken from him, Hurricane Katrina. Hi, had to join the military just to earn the right to go back to school. But this is the same person who claims that his Native American Apache helicopter, whatever he actually is, ethnicity, can allow him to go to school for free. Well, bitch, why don't you do it? But if you can, you're still not amounting much to nothing, and compared to what I've actually sacrificed, not even remotely. But that's okay. You can go through You can go through the path that's much easier than mine and get to the same place as me. Hell, you can even put your own face on a fucking billboard. But you can't. You can't. Because you're weak. Because you're weak. Yeah, you can call me a black boy from now on. Can I call you Timmy? Like, I don't. This is I've triggered folks. Because, and this is why, folks, what you're seeing in the chat is exactly why these guys target me. Is because I love talking about my accomplishments only to piss them off. Because at the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Call him a snowflake, or assy McRape. Huh. Choices. I only mention my accomplishments because other people get a kick out of it, and I love people's reactions. Do you want to know the real reason I got on that billboard? It was a bet. One of my classmates bet me to go talk to the folks that do the stuff for the school, so I wouldn't talk to them. I told them my life story and summation of it, and they found it inspirational. And of course, I'm a minority, and of course, I'm a former soldier. It looks good for schools. There's a reason I was up there. Okay. So I'm glad they photoshopped I had a terrible fever blister, like right there. If you actually go look at that picture, you can tell that there's Photoshop done, like right there. Huge fever blister, huge one. So I got up there, and you know what I really want to do with that billboard? I wanted to show it to my mother. That's it. I wanted to show it. That's it. That's the only real reason I wanted that. Just so I can show it to my mother. And God damn it, I want to make my mother proud. I am such a terrible ass person. That's it. Do you think I want all them fucking hillbillies to see me up there? Not really, but it makes my mother proud. So that's fine with me. That's fine with me. This next one, I said, well, sure. I want more funding for the biology program. It needs to be well funded. We are in a state that has billions of dollars invested, and we need more people. What we have is inadequate at the campus, and if I can do my part to increase funding for it, I'm going to fucking do it. So guess what I did? Oh, and look, now my face is out here everywhere, so maybe some young black youngster can say, you know what? I want to be like that dude. Boom. 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 Did it. Already an inspiration. So I've already accomplished some of my actual life goals. I'm not even 40 years old. I'm not even middle aged yet, and I've already accomplished a life goal: inspire others to become great. I already did it. So when these dudes approach me and they give out these excuses, and I say, what's your fucking excuse? If I can sit out in the Mojave Desert, literally out in the Mojave Desert, and study the stuff that I'm doing now, you don't have an excuse. I was a full-time soldier. I went out to this thing called a fucking library, and I got some goddamn books. I had phone with unlimited internet. Guess what I fucking did? I went on YouTube, did Khan Academy. I got fucking calculator. I got pencil and paper. I started practicing shit. I busted my ass to get where I am. So these excuses don't amount to shit. It doesn't amount to shit to me. And that's why they're mad. They can be mad all fucking day. Ronnie's life is shit, and he has to make up his education because he's too fucking stupid to do anything. But he can admire a fucking retard who lives in somebody's goddamn attic. At least, you know what? I'll give Antonio this. At least Antonio was smart enough to say, you know what? I'm going to stick up for him and absolve him from responsibility, but I'm gonna get the hell out of here because shit's too hot. At least he was smart enough to do that. At least that. I'll give Antonio that. But what's interesting is that when I come on the scene, I start talking to these guys, I break past the bullshit. It's like, oh, fuck charity. These people, this is past being charitable. These folks never been here for a charitable, unbiased conversation. None of these fuckers are here for that. There's very few people who are legitimately here to have a conversation, because I can tell you from personal experience, from being here about 6 years, and the old heads who've been here longer can tell you the same exact thing I'm about to tell you. The actual best ass conversations happen offline. They're not live. They're not broadcasted. The best ones happen in off-air hangouts over Skype. They could happen. I mean, hell. That's the best conversations. I've had plenty of great conversations with Ozzy, talking about all types of stuff off-air. Just me and him. And other folks too. Arn Raw. I had a conversation with him the other day. Awesome. I love catching up with Arn Raw. That's when the best conversations happen. Not on here. Because when these guys get on here, but you could and do this. Actually, go check out their channels. Go to the About section. Go read. It's always something to the effect of, I'm here to preach the gospel and win souls for Jesus, which is cool. Do your thing. No one's going to really say much about that. But they lack, and this is where I wrap it up, folks. Take note, Saga. They lack the ability to connect with people on that one-to-one level. They lack the ability to actually see and from their opponent's position. But I did say earlier, it is hard for me to regress. It is hard for me to regress to a point that they are at. But that should indicate something to you. That's why they're worthless as far as conversation. Because there are plenty of theists here that I can talk to. There are plenty of theists. I'm cutting onions. Plenty of theists I can talk to on here. And I have. About a number of issues. There's even recently been some atheists that I've known on here for a while who's now having a bit of the faith. It's caught him. But this guy, without even talking to him, without even mentioning his name, I already know how the faith bug bit him. I already know. He spoke to people who could empathize with him. He spoke to people in confidence. He spoke to people who wanted to understand him, not score points. So when I talk about the cowardice of the CCP, they're not even man enough, or at least woman enough in a lot of their cases, to be upfront with their goals and to try and approach them in earnest. I don't go to school for another 2 weeks, so I'm not, you know, that's why I'm here. But they don't. Because you think about it, I've met a few YouTubers. I've met a few in real life. They'll tell you I'm the same person I am on here as in many other time. But for these guys, they put on a show. They're here to pretend that they can actually do something. You know, they're pretending that they can get on here and start winning some souls, because they're not. I've actually told a story about an old co-worker of mine who's a Christian that, you know what, if I was still living in that area, I would probably go. And I enjoy talking to this man. Let me preface this. I enjoy talking to this man. He was a fundamentalist. Absolutely fundamentalist. And I usually don't get along with fundamentalists, but this man had some balls on him. He had some charisma. He had personality. He had all the things I like in men. And so, because of that, he did not shy away from the tough topic. Frustrated, are you in Houston? If you're in Houston, let me know, and let me know, because we can meet up at Chase and Tails or something. But this guy had unwavering faith, but he did not shy away from, you know what, I could be wrong about that. So you know what, you got a point. There was always a give and take. When do you notice a give and take with these guys? Because I love to compare these radical evangelicals, radical, evangelicals to these cats, to actual Christians. That's what I should refer to them as, actual Christians. Because the actual Christians that I know don't act like them. You're in Galveston. Ooh. Trying to see how far away is Galveston. God damn. Yo, I think, what's that? I don't know about driving an hour and a half, man. That's kind of far. Mrs. Drag gets here around 6:37, so I'm stuck homebound till she gets here. But what's funny to me is that if they were genuinely interested in winning souls, they would take time out from trying to score points, which is obviously, yeah, it's the point scoring thing that they're trying to do isn't working. It's definitely not working for them. It's not, I don't, again, if they have, because if those of us who have been engaged in these guys are not convinced that they even know what they're talking about. So it's hard, because let's think about this for a second. Let's actually think about this. Because I want to relate this back to the cowardice. When I say cowardice, let me try and qualify this statement a bit. People who are courageous will surmount challenges, obviously. So, what does it mean to surmount the challenge? Well, scarlet powder. Some of the greatest challenges that you will ever face, and I learned this, of course, in the Army. Some of the greatest challenge that you will ever face is the man or the woman in the mirror. That man or woman in the mirror. Facing yourself is by far some of the biggest challenge you'll ever face. These folks can't even face their own ineptitude. They can't face themselves and correct their deficiencies to do what they claim what they want to do here on the interwebs. That's what I mean. They're not, they really don't possess any of the qualities that would be befitting of anyone that I would find appealing. Because I would say the gentleman that I was referencing, was back in Maryland, that particular Christian was courageous enough to challenge himself. He definitely was. And I think that these guys lack the temerity to really do it. I don't expect, them to accomplish not even a fraction of things that I have, but if they really wanted to get through to folks, they would actually make an effort for it. Because this, how does, if they've not actually brought any of us, who among us has actually been touched by the retardation of anything on any of their channels? Mind you, I'm not trying to convert any of them, or deconvert rather, any of them to any goddamn thing. So our goals are different. But when has that happened? Because some of us have even told, you know what, if you actually knew about science, then we could have a conversation. There's not going to come a day where I'm going to read a Tommy Hall post and grow dumber and start accepting the stupid shit that Tommy believes in. One thing, Tommy's an educated fucking hick, barely fucking literate. That's kind of a sticking point for me. Again, that may just be a military thing. So, if you're upset with me warning to say white boy, I also say black folks. I mean, that's just kind of part of my vernacular, and I call Mexicans Sexicans if they're sexy enough. But if that phrase doesn't tickle your tummy, I can use a different vernacular just for you. But I'm going to continue saying black folks. Anyway, there isn't going to come a time, at least I don't think so, that I'm going to fall down 5 flights of stairs to get to a level where I start accepting claims from people who don't know the difference between D-O and D-U-E. Just saying. What's going on, Miss Star? So, I think it's interesting. I think it's really interesting that they get on here. They get on here and expect people, mind you, people who have accomplished things, people who have been places, done things, have gotten educated, to believe them based on what? Because they made an argument to themselves. I don't, again, help me understand. because I think a part of, and I thank Hawkseye for bringing up this word shibboleth. They lack the shibboleth, and they lack the shibboleth to be convincing, but they claim that they don't, because people who are completely uneducated, especially young, fall for bullshit, not realizing that the reason why you don't have people with master's degrees and PhDs falling over themselves to get true on their channel is because he's a nobody and he knows dick all. Same with G-Man. The reason why I can literally have a conversation with a guy in a lab and get invited to go work at one of the best fucking medical centers in this state. One of the best, just from conversation. That demonstrates the disparity between actually being able to have the shibboleth and the knowledge and to have like this fucking sophistry here on the internet. It takes courage for me to approach someone who I know is way more educated than me and have a conversation with them. Because I could possibly make an ass of myself. Quite possibly make an ass of myself. But I didn't. I got an offer. I'm not going to take him up on that offer, because when you're me, you get offers like that. Sorry if that facts, I'm just stating fucking facts. If that fact offends you, then get on my fucking level. Don't know what to fucking tell you. Just saying. So, with trigger tits. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, so actually that's a good question. What constitutes respect? What constitutes respect? So, man. You swear? I could have swore. It's C-U-D-D-A. I could have swore. It's a little bit of Louisiana slang for you. So, in the military, you have an army ethos. You have, God damn it, you have the leadership, which is, I think, L is loyalty, D is determination, R is respect, S is self-sacrifice. I can't remember all the other ones. No, I is integrity. P is personal courage. Anyway, when we talk about respect, showing charity, showing credit where credit is due, having a mutual understanding between individual situations, to whereas I am giving you enough room to express yourself how you want to within means, right? But it is something that isn't automatically gifted to each and every person. We should ideally do that, but no. Each and every person that I encounter starts off the exact fucking same with me. I open the door, here's a welcome mat. I'm not extending my arm across that welcome mat. You can meet me halfway. And if you meet me halfway, that's when there can be some give and take back. But I'll give you a perfect example. When I met the fucking retard in New Jersey in a Starbucks, the first thing he does is start insulting me. Now, I take insults from people all the time who I know, and we already have mutual respect for one another. But since he felt the need to act an ass, to show his ass, it's like, you know, like we say in Louisiana, I ain't did your name. I extended my hand to show respect, shake his hand, and I crushed it with about 127 pounds of pressure per square inch. Ask me how I know. So, respect wasn't shown. Respect wasn't given. See how that works? So for me, when I meet someone new, they have kind of a buffer zone. So if, let me give you an example. Oop, here are 2 cups. Boom. So here we go. In between here where my face is, is where me and another person can meet. Now, again, that buffer zone is about from one brim of my glasses here to about the centerpiece here, because ideally, when we have mutual respect, we're up here. But everyone gets a buffer zone because people have quirks. Everyone has a quirk. If you've ever encountered scientist Sam, he's going to need a big fucking buffer zone if you've not dealt with him before. Okay? There's certain other people, certain Aspies who are in the chat I'm not going to fucking mention. Actually, there's a few of you in there. Y'all are going to need a big-ass buffer zone. I know I'm going to need a big-ass buffer zone with you. That's cool. But that buffer zone is not going to exceed this space here. All right? So, once you are within that range, I can say, okay, I will just move the middle area here over here so that your buffer zone is a bit bigger than normal. I hope this is a illustration to kind of, I guess, show folks how I view respect. It's better if I use an illustration because the way that I conceive certain things is a bit different than others. Someone put it in the chat. There we go. Loyalty, duty, respect, self-sacrifice, honesty, integrity, personal. I know I got most of them. Thanks, Frustrating. I got most of them. I'm supposed to know all of them, but no. So that respect with the buffer zone now is where I see people. And some people, you know, I know at least that I'm going to need a bigger buffer zone than other folks, depending on how well I know you. Because if people are just so offended by every goddamn thing and they need a buffer zone this big, I'm not going to deal with you, point blank period. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. That's part of the reason why I prefer, if I had a preference, I talk to just veterans, because veterans don't need that. Veterans don't need that. We don't need that. We automatically respect one another right off the bat. Doesn't matter what, well, I was so close to saying it doesn't matter what branch. That is a fucking lie. That is an absolute lie. I was so close to saying it too. But veterans, we don't have to go through all that. Yeah, thank you. And Jared got it right. Yeah, Jared, that's why I stopped. I was like, Coast Guard, no, I don't respect them. So veterans are different. That's why I prefer to talk to veterans. If I had to choose any group of folks, veterans is what I would choose. So next would be people from Louisiana. Well, why? Well, I'm from Louisiana. I understand the vernacular. I understand the culture. I understand, you know, how your mom and them. You know, I understand that I'm not going to have a 5-minute conversation with any of them. It's going to be a 15, 20-minute conversation. And we're going to spin the yarn about each other's families and just try and see if we're related. That's something unique to Louisiana. So respect is kind of on that sliding scale. And so, of course, those folks are going to have different buffer zones, or not even need them, honestly. So, but for someone new, someone I've never met before, I allow them the opportunity to show me their ass. And if they show me their ass and I kind of push back, I'm like, yeah, you know, you're quite assertive, huh? And kind of put an emphasis on it, kind of put it out there. And if they're not an Aspie, that's when I kind of say, oh, let me just write this dude off, or let me keep this person at arm's length. But I still will show them respect. I stop showing people respect when they really show me their ass. I mean, just like, again, G-Man True, some of these other fuckers, people who've actually done nothing in their life. Big hint, if you're still living at home with mama and you're on the internet talking big shit and pretending you know shit, that doesn't impress me. In fact, it tells me you're a fucking loser. Just saying. Just saying. So it's a turn of phrase, Miss Star. Actually, I think a lot of people here in Texas say that. Someone show me their ass. Well, I mean, that could also reference presenting in the animal kingdom too, which would be also fitting if we're still working with these very graphic illustrations. What was I talking about again? Oh, yeah, anyway. So it's funny to me. It's really funny to me. So I think Miss Star got me. Now I'm thinking about the red ass fucking was it the baboons or the gibbons? What are they, the gibbons? The red asses? That I Am Weasel cartoon, I Am Baboon. You know. Oh, what you saying, Tyler? You mean like when they send an email demanding an apology for bad words being used? Something like that. Yeah, something like that would definitely tell me that your balls are probably not dropped. That's actually a pretty good example That's a pretty good. Baboons. Okay, thank you, Tony. That would probably tell me that you definitely. And you know what? And a part of me is biased. If, and I don't know if any other veteran does this, I do size people up. I men. I only do this to men. I do this to men. If they could make it in the military, I like them more. And if they would suffer, they would crumble in basic training or not even make it to reception battalion, I don't like them at all. I don't know if like I said, I only do that to guys. That's completely sexist. I only do it to guys. If a guy has soft ass hands, like a baby's ass, soft, it's not gonna turn out well. G-Man has some real soft hands. Really soft hands. Surprisingly soft hands for a man. And I was like, that's interesting. I met some gay dudes with some more callus on their hands, but I don't know where it was from, but just saying. So, and that's kind of a confirmed bias of mine. And I know I have to work past that because it's not fair. It's not, because people can be perfectly suitable, to join if it weren't for certain issues. But, it's not fair. But that's life. When people see folks from this, but people do it all the time. If you're a Southerner, right? If you're from if you go to California and you're a Southerner, and people can tell by your accent that you're a Southerner, you're gonna get knocked down a few pegs. And that's it. We all have these little implicit biases here and there. Well, mine's not as implicit since I'm cognizant of it. But what did G-Man mean when he said you're LGBT? Oh, he means I like dick. So what's funny to me is that I don't see any of the boldness, and I think because maybe it's just, I think it might just be me. It might just be me, because when I think of someone who's bold, I don't think of any ass, because anybody can go run across I-45 ass naked. That's bold. That's, by any standard, that's bold. When I envision the concept of boldness, it's not a 45-year-old fucking scrawny ass 5'4" midget with soft ass hands and had to make up a fucking family he doesn't have, retard in New Jersey, living in somebody's attic, sweating balls, humping his carpet with dog shit, getting a UTI. That doesn't reek of boldness to me. That nothing about that says bold. Not a bit of it. Not any of that shit. And in fact, half of that's true. But still, right? Nothing about his life says bold. What? Because I had to ask him, because Antonio was one of the ones who told me this shit. I said, what about this dude is bold? Because I didn't tell him this. I was on the toilet talking to him because I wasn't going to stop what I was doing. I just muted myself. So I'm sitting there like, what? Bold? Wait, what? What you mean bold? What, he's bold? Yeah. Yeah, he preaches the gospel no matter what kind of crap you guys throw at him. I said, hold on, man. He gets crap thrown at him because he's going to keep attacking folks. Well, yeah. So what? I'm sorry. So responding to the response that people are giving you for your vitriol, that's bold? I mean, hell, a damn, a recently dead snake can still bite somebody. That doesn't mean that it's bold. It's just reacting. Like, anybody can react. Because I've heard one of his main dick suckers, Veckel, also say something to this effect, that he admired G-Man's boldness. I said, well, I guess if I was as short as you and I looked like a fucking rat fink like you, Veckel, maybe, just maybe I could understand that. I said, okay, hold on, let me check what did this what does True have to say? Well, G-Man, he's atheist. Where they get on this case? Oh, thank you, True. You've been instrumental in solving this mystery. Now take your ugly ass back under the bed. So I got fucking nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. Because it's hard for me to connect with folks. And I'm about to watch this. Hold on. Trigger warning. Trigger. It's hard for me to connect with people who are less than me. It really is. It really is hard for me to get in the mind of somebody who is less bold than myself. I guess because I've raised the bar a little bit too much, that it's hard for me to go back down. That might be what it is. That might be why I have a hard time seeing eye to eye with these guys. That might be why I have this penchant for just triggering folks, because the folks who are just way less than me and everyone else, they feel intimidated by the very fact that I exist, and I overtly state what the facts are. Just laying it out. Just telling it like it is. People don't like that. I don't know why. You would hope that people be honest with you and not bullshit you. But some people get upset by that because they feel, for whatever reason, and I know this is especially true for True, that he feels inferior to everyone else. He goes and talks to Chris. He goes to talk to Rational Mind. He goes to talk to Doc Savage. He knows that they've accomplished what he has in the past pretended to have. No, don't time out warning. Let him be triggered. I want to see him be triggered. I like it. I got a hard on, a massive fucking hard on down here. But I think that's what it is. Because think about something. With the exception for I actually know. I think no, Beckel has to. Beckel has to. With the exception for Antonio, these guys have talked straight out of their ass, completely. And what do you drag out? What do you mean by that? I don't understand all this vernacular. What is all this? What does all this mean? True has on two different occasions. On two different occasions, made up shit about his life, and later admit that it was not true. He's made up the fact that he has no education on two different occasions. Why would he do that? Starts making sense now. He can't use the excuse that he's an old poor boy trying to make it. Please, sir, may I have some more? That bullshit don't fly. I said, hey, me and you both, man. How come I made it and you didn't? He didn't have that. So that triggers him. Okay. What about Mr. G, man? I have on 3 different recordings, 3 different videos, this man has made up a fucking family. Think about that for us. Just stop what you're doing. If you're taking a shit, hold it. Control your rectum. Don't excrete another kid at the pool, dropping nobody off. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Think about that for a second. Who makes up a family? I know someone who's done it in real life, so he could not stay in the barracks, and it was smart as hell. But there was a reason he did it. It's so he wouldn't have to live around a bunch of other single stinking ass motherfuckers. Technically, he was still married. I've never seen this man's wife. I think he killed the bitch. That's not the point. But who actually makes up having kids? Who makes up having a wife? Who makes this shit up? Who makes this shit up? And just on the fly. Yeah, I have kids. Yeah, I have a daughter with autism. Give the bitch a cripple. You have a kid, half his fucking face is missing the next day. Who does shit like this? But think about it. Dragnot has a family. Dragnot has a wife. One that quite a few people are jealous of. Too bad, she's mine. Dragnot has a kid. That's so strange. So strange. Yes, Pew, yes. There's a video. It's on Scholar Fiction's channel. Scholar Fiction asked him if he has kids. He says he has a son. There's a separate video that he did about 5 years ago where he's reviewing some girl's channel where she's talking about autistic kids, and he just randomly states that he has an autistic daughter and that he's learned stuff from her. Yes. Thank you, Lusty McButt, you fucking Voldemort archivist. Man. But who makes up shit like this? But then you think about it, because I've caught these guys saying things. Because they've gone around in little circle jerks. And that's when it dawned on me. And thank you for some folks, too, who drew some of this stuff to my attention. When you listen to them get together and talk about me, it's always envious. It's never, oh, I didn't know Mrs. Drag was into that kind of stuff. Oh, okay, that's odd. It's always, why is she with him? I've heard that more than once. Mrs. Dragnot's so cool. How can she stand him? Now, what secure dude would say something like that who wasn't envious? You have to ask yourself. Because G-Man's made reference to this a few times, quite a number of times, and some of you have caught it. He is very jealous of my relationship. He is very jealous of what I've accomplished. He's actually admitted this to MP in real life. He's acknowledged it. So you have to wonder what him and True talk about in those late nights when he can't sleep. Me. They talk about me. They talk about what I've done. Because I don't have to get on here and pretend. Isn't that sad? So, Dragnot, what's the bottom line? You're sitting here talking. You're in your kitchen. These guys want to be me. They literally, these CCP members want to be me. If you are wondering why all of them are cowards, because they don't have the testicular fortitude to do what I've done, to be who I am, and to dream what I dream. That's the simple fact. There's nothing about these guys' lives that are envious. Would anyone of you want to trade places with Voldemort? Who the fuck wants to do it? Not even his buddies would do that. Hell no. Hell no. You want some water? Something to eat? You want some pretzels? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, this is it's called parenting. When you actually have kids, you actually have to do it. So. Anyway, they want moments like that. They want well-behaved children. Y'all hear my son? Did y'all even know he was in the room? Did y'all even know that? No. Well-behaved. Well-behaved. I wonder how he got that way. It's almost like when I set my mind to something, I will fucking excel at it. Most of the time. Not all the time. I know my limitations. But that's another part of it. That's another part of it. Being a coward isn't just being afraid of your own shadow, not, surmounting challenges. A part of it is also not knowing your limitations. Because a coward will lie to himself. The coward will lie to himself. Jared, I was taking a shot at somebody, and she knows who she is. A coward won't say, you know what? Here is my left and right limit. Let me see if I can try and exceed it. A coward won't even go there because they're so afraid that they'll hit that corner and reality will hit them in the fucking face. That's interesting. I think that's interesting. We all have limitations. Every last one, especially me. But one of the things that separates the courageous from the cowardly is reality. As one of the main, I would say one of the core, actually no, not even, I can't even say that. I can't even say it'd be the main thing. I would say is like a compilation of traits, right? Or attributes. You should strive to challenge yourself. You should strive to see your faults and your flaws. You should try to acknowledge them for what they are and find a way to rectify it and not sit in self-delusion. You should always try to raise the bar for yourself. And here I think this particular medium, this whatever this here is, has caused people to say, well, you know what, if I can just live vicariously through these other people that I'll mention, that's good enough for me. I'll just live through William Lane Craig and Kent Hovind. I'll make them my fucking idol to the point that if I parrot them enough, I will be them. I will be them. But what's interesting, what's really interesting, is that you see a lot of that. You see a lot of this parroting of these guys. You see they copy the lines and certain sentiments. They'll copy. Of course, you know, we have the Pratt, the points refuted 1,000 times. We have that. But you know what else gets copied quite often? This guy. Again, some of you pointed out. Some of you have actually pointed out. And I said, you know what? Goddamn, you're right. Absolutely right. Drag, what you going on about? You still talking? Drag, not this whole video has just been fucking you self-aggrandizing. Yes. This entire fucking video. Because I love it. Not because it gives me gratification. Because it triggers motherfuckers. And I love the shit out of that. But some of you are probably wondering why I've been absent. Because you know what? I have a bit of an allergy. And some of you probably, I don't know who've known about this allergy. I don't know. I don't really talk about it that much. But do I keep saying aggrandizing? Yeah, that's what I said. Aggrandizing. Aggrandizing. Excuse me. Aggrandizing. That's that Louisiana me. Fuck you, Tyler. But I have an allergy. No, I didn't freeze. I just wanted to do that because I thought it was dramatic. Yeah, I just wanted to do that because I felt like it. So anyway, by the way, soccer count. That's you crack jokes when you lose your train of thought. You just don't go so yeah. You use the jokes to fill that until you remember what you were going to say, because monologuing is actually an art, and if you tend to forget, you can kind of look off camera and not pay attention, so you can get your train of thought back. And as you're talking, you can kind of slowly emphasize like weird parts of sentences, and you can have weird inflections on them, and you can spend like minutes, precious minutes, going back to something you said earlier about how much better you are than everyone else. Or you could talk about triggering people until you remember, oh yeah, that's right, I was going to talk about my allergy. So so I have an allergy to cowards. I honestly have an allergy to cowardice. I have an allergy to people, to individuals who rest on their laurels, whatever accomplishments that they thought that they accomplished X number of years ago, and then that's it. Like they peaked. You know, if you're not 70 fucking years old, then you probably have some more vigor in you. You could probably strive to do something. You can probably get out your mama's house. You know, you can probably get out your fucking mama's house. You can probably move out of your, if you're still in your hometown, there's more stuff outside of your hometown. If you're still in your same state, move out. Wow, go away. Groovy did that recently. Groovy moved, which I was sad because she moved like months after we moved here, and I want to hang out with Groovy. The grooviest thing, for those of you who don't know. I'll get to see her in California, but you know, she's going places, she's doing things. Part of the reason why I like Groovy, and that she gets intoxicated and she gets better at bowling. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but I have an allergy to people who are resting upon whatever like conceptions they have of the world. You should always seek to challenge this shit. None of these guys do that. None of these guys actually challenge themselves. That's what gets me. That's what I can't understand. Why would you live in a life cloistered the way that some of these guys are and not seek to challenge themselves? Because that's where the real joy is. The real joy is challenging your views and challenging yourself. Warning, no, I'm not having a conversation with Grace about you, and I'm going to be completely honest, like no bullshit. You're not ready to have that conversation. I'm just like, I'm not even like, all bullshit aside, all fucking bullshit aside, you are not ready to have that conversation. You're not ready to have, and you actually, this is a good example, you're not ready to actually be challenged by anything. The fact that you can't actually stand behind the stuff that you say yourself shows me that you're not ready to have that conversation. That's a conversation I reserve that I've had with Ozzy, with Sock Account. I've had with quite a few people off air. Not going to have a conversation with you, ever. More than likely, ever. You don't have the maturity, nor the knowledge, nor the temperament to have that conversation. Just going to be honest with you. So, but other than that, you know, other folks, yeah. Well, definitely, I would give you my, because there's a real reason why I'm able to navigate through many different scenarios. And I'm an arrogant racist. Okay, cool. There's a reason why I go out of my way to communicate with people around me. I'm a bigot. Okay. There's a few people in the community who talk to me off air and who have my phone number. So one of you is a weirdo who has my phone number, and you should probably get some help. But I try to learn about other people, because it's one of the fascinations that I have with religion, because it seems to, well, I originally thought, and here's where I've been mistaken, because, and this is why I don't like when people don't challenge themselves, because I've had to challenge myself in the way that I view religion, because I was under the impression that religion just warps people's minds, and that perception had to change, because that's not true. It's not. The religion, it's a tool. It itself doesn't warp people's minds. That it can be used by a person to help warp someone's mind, but it's just a tool. So I had to change the way that I looked at religion, right? And so if we're talking about that in relation to cowardice, the coward in me would have never challenged that. The coward in me would have never said, you know what, I'm out here, you know, trumpeting the fucking sounds of atheism. I don't know what illustration would be, I don't care. But if I've never challenged that, I could never grow as a person. You know, if I want to come on the internet and pretend to be an intellectual, like some people, one of the things that you need to at least pretend to do is challenge yourself and to be open to be completely wrong about the shit that you think that you know so much about. And one of the ways that I try and do that is to understand where people are coming from. One of those ways is to learn someone's culture. Well, what's a big part of people's culture? Their language, and to learn their religion. So it's crazy. It's crazy that people don't take advantage of that. If you, and those of you who really want to know like one of my secrets to success, and it's not really a fucking secret, if you want to be as adaptable and flexible, learn somebody's language. I'm dead fucking serious. I work with
A lot of folk from South India. I'm trying to learn some Hindi, and a lot of them are impressed by that. I'm and I was about to make a really off-color joke because somebody's in the chat, but it would actually come off as really racist. I just thought about that. I saved my racist joke for all the Jews in the internment camps, but it's funny because that's one of the things that I do. I try and learn other people's languages. I try and learn about other people's culture because I think there's merit in understanding another person on that level, and that hopefully it's reciprocated. It may not be. People may not find anything of merit worth in Louisiana culture about Creoles and Cajuns, which is fine. Don't ever eat anything Cajun and Creole ever again, and fuck yourself. But it is what it is. Bosnia, what is Bosnian? I'm not learning Bosnian. I don't want to cough at people every time I'm talking and make guttural sounds. That sounds hard. It hurts my throat. No, but that to me is a sign of strength, a sign that somebody is trying to get outside of their own little box that they've constructed for themselves. And that's something, when I talk about respect, I respect people who want to go outside of what they think is the case. If they have, because I've been very rarely approached by people who, there was this one girl from South Korea, she was fascinated, this was in the Army, but fascinated with Louisiana culture, and she was asking me about certain things, and she caught on to the way that I would say certain things, like crawfish bowl. So I don't say the word boil, I say ball, B-O-L-L, ball. That is something that I have to mentally change, because that is how literally everyone pronounces it. So when I mispronounce self-aggrandizing, that's a part of the reason why. But I laugh at it because it is a way of communicating. And we'll probably do a Three Black Heathens show on how I'm able to code switch and why I really don't like it. If there was one thing that I really don't like, and to get back to the cowardice of these guys, one thing that really bothers me is that they blame their inarticulate behaviors on them coming from a particular background, or they blame it on whatever. I don't fucking care. This to be completely honest, and I'm going to actually end this because it's an hour and a half and I need to turn on a fan, and I'm tired of having a shirt on. I really don't like this. I really don't like, I am from a beleaguered neighborhood of whatever racial minority. I don't give a shit. I'm going to be completely fucking honest. To any minority that said I don't give a shit, I really don't give a shit. There are so many shits that I could give to toilets that I will not give to that bullshit, because don't give me that. Don't fucking, no, I've lived that. I have taken the fucking time to try and learn how to not speak like a fucking, piece of Cajun trash from Louisiana. I've taken great pains at that. It was simply so I could adapt to living in North Carolina around a bunch of military brats who found the way that I pronounce things and my vernacular to be very strange. So don't give me that shit. Don't give me that. If you don't have the courage to challenge yourself, to outspeak in a way that's intelligible to other people, then no. Then fuck yourself. No, you're not on my level. No, fuck you. No, not at all. If it goes to the point that you gotta watch TV, watch Planet Earth, narrated by David Attenborough. You have to say it like that. If you have to go through those lanes and then enunciate things in the mirror over and over again, then go fucking do it. Don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to fucking tell you. But I'm not going to listen to people who've done less than me with their own life when it comes to trying to change my life. Don't come to me with that bullshit. Because when you think about it, that's what some of these guys are asking. Once you really, really think about it, would you actually sit down and say, what is it that these guys want? Just think about it. You can go to their channels and look at the About page and look at the other videos that they have about what some of their goals are. They want to instill their values on people. I don't want to live like Ronnie. I don't want to live like G-Man. I don't want to live like Beckel. I don't want to live like Tommy. I don't live like none of these motherfuckers. I want to live better. Why would I live my life from people who are less than me? And people can be mad all day that I said that. It's the fucking truth. It is the absolute fucking truth. They can be mad till the cows come home. I'm not going to regress myself to people who are less than me. Not going to happen. Point blank, period. It has nothing to do with religious beliefs. It is the fact that you have people who won't challenge themselves to become better, to even learn to have a mastery of the same language that we all fucking speak, and won't be corrected by it in any small way. But then they want you to fundamentally change the way that you think about the world. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? That's what I don't get. That's literally what baffles me about these dudes. If you can't even change yourself, you can't edify yourself and the people around you, what makes you think I want to take on any of the things about your life? If you don't have enough personal courage to do that for yourself, to purely benefit yourself, why would I listen to you? Why? It doesn't make sense. I'm going to have to fall down quite a few flights of stairs to get to that point. At what point? What's the point? So, nothing really prompted this. I've just been hearing things, and I figured, something did prompt this. Someone messaged me and was like, hey, I ain't seen you in a while, so I'll do a video and get out some of the things that I've been talking about and thinking about. But, not gonna lie, I wanted to trigger certain folks without even saying the names or even remotely referencing them, and I did, so that's accomplished. Thank you, by the way. God damn it, he donated $20. There's so many of y'all. I forgot who. I just had his name too. You know who you are. Thank you. I used that to get Mrs. Drag some dinner the other night, and you have her thanks, and you have my thanks too, because a happy Mrs. Drag is a happy drag. So that was good. Thank you. But yeah, like I don't get that. That's the thing. I don't expect anybody to take aboard the things that I say. If they're challenging themselves more than me, if they're doing better than me, and they're on top of their shit, and they got better people than me in their life to console them on whatever, then no, they shouldn't listen to me. It works the same way for me. Like, I don't think that, that I hold myself in some weird regard. No. Yeah, Super Chat is for the Jewish, well, for the most part, it is for the Jewish travel agent. Oh, your buddy's also in the chat, Sam, too. Yeah, this is the one that has the. I'm not. I already made one Jew joke. I gotta spread it around. Oh man. But God, it is actually hot in here. It is hot as balls. I'm not gonna lie. That's it, folks. I'm done ranting. I hope you guys enjoyed Talking Shit Tuesday, because by the time I even checked shit, I was like, oh yeah, it is Tuesday, and I think they had it on Cliff's channel or some shit. So yeah, so hope y'all enjoyed it. Don't know what it's about, but should I? No, I'm gonna save that. Okay. I was about to mention something that we'll talk about that later. It's not mine to introduce, since Sock Account was the one who told some of us about it in Discord. So something fun in the future. Somebody debate warning on racism. Have a much easier debate, like him getting out of his mama's house. I think that would be a much simpler debate. How to be an adult, how to have conversations with other adults, how to not be a neckbeard, how to actually do research, how to, get by in life, how to get a girlfriend. Like, I think there's you can kind of start at like a low tier and then work your way up. I don't know if he still lives with his mom. I just say that, like I say, it purely to piss him off. He's not giving any indication that he does live alone, but he probably does. Like, I don't know. By the way that he desires other adults to write him an apology, that tells me that's a sign of immaturity. And so that indicates to me that he still lives at home with mama. So, and again, I could be wrong about that. I just think it's funny. Absolutely fucking funny. And so, yeah. We will be doing a fundraiser on the Great Debate Gaming next week. Details to follow. Please check in with the Durden. Follow Great Debate Gaming community on the Google Tubes. Yeah. There's something else I was gonna say. Xavier, you're a bum. Sam, don't even. Sam, no. Sam, no, Sam. Block Sam, no, don't, no. Sam, we talked about no, don't do it. No shekels for you. No more shekels. All right, it's enough Jewish jokes. All right. I will see y'all later.